So in this section here, what I thought I would do is to design from beginning to end a full-fledged application, right? So this application, it's not going to go and fetch data or anything, although that's something that you can do yourself. Try to emulate a design that we can find online. Now for that, we need inspiration, of course, and the best place that I know of on the internet where you can find amazing design inspiration for amazing designers all over the world is Dribbble.com. So as you can see here, this is Dribbble.com. If you just go to Dribbble, make sure that we have 2b's.com. And I already went and found mobile. So you can come down here, say all for instance, and you can see all sort of designs here. The cool thing is you can click on one and you can see some of them have animations, and it's pretty amazing. If you keep scrolling down, you can see other things that were done by this particular designer. Right? It's really, really awesome to get inspiration and so forth. For instance, this one here, you can click, you can see, look at this. Look how beautiful this design is. Okay, it really inspires you to do something. So if you want to be more specific, of course, you can go ahead and say mobile, which is what we're interested in at this point. And you can scroll down and take a look at something that spikes your interest. For instance, this one here, food app. I love food. Maybe we can find something here, right? So you can go ahead and play around and click the more from this person or company that created that one. You can go back and you can see. You can go back and continue looking. Look at this. Very nice applications. You can see here there's a lot of information that we can use to inspire ourselves into building something really quite nice. And the cool thing also is that it gives us the palette of the color, the hex code that has been, the hex code colors that were used to build this user interface. So it's very handy. You can just copy these colors and put in your application and start going. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now I've already looked at a design that I would like to emulate. So I can come down here. I'm going to search for Starbucks like this. I think I'll be able to get to it. And there's so many awesome designs here, but there's one in particular that I thought would be really cool to emulate. The design was just stunning and a little bit challenging, and so I figured that it would be a good place to start. And there it is. This is the design I'm talking about. Let's click on it. And this is by this gentleman, Richie Deep. Okay, so if you're watching this, or I want to thank you because this is amazing. And it's always a good idea to actually give credit where credit's due. So what we're going to do here, what I thought would be awesome to do, let me make this a little bit bigger, is to emulate this design in particular, this page or screen. You can see here, if you look closely, there's a lot going on. In a sense that when you look at a design like this, you need to start thinking in terms of, okay, what are the components that are in here? First of all, the first thing that I notice here is that we have a lot of Z stack. Why? Because everything, as you can see, is stacked on top of each other to create this very nice user interface. So we have a backdrop that has this nice color, as you can see, and then we have this rounded corner rectangle here, but then we have this very cool curve that bleeds into another rectangle there. So it's very intricate if you start looking closely, right? The idea here is that we could create images in Photoshop or any other image processing or editing software, but that would defeat the purpose because SwiftUI has all of the tools for us to be able to design something like this all in code. Of course, the images, we can get those, but anything that pertains to all these contours that you can see here and everything, we can actually create this using SwiftUI. In fact, I already created it. Right? I'm going to show you real quick here. This is indeed what is created. Now, I added a few other things in this application here. Notice that we have this nice scroll there. We have the text, and we have something at the top here. Of course, the color is different. That's totally fine, but emulates at least what we see here. And I use Starbucks, UX instead of the bucks like that. I don't know why, but I just thought it would be cool. And yeah, we can see there, we can scroll left and right, and we have our nice items. And notice I also added something else. I added a little clip, circle clipped there for our images to give it a little bit more pizzazz, right? Almost like it's under a plate of some sort. which is not what we see here. But again, this is one of those things that we do things. We use this mockup, this design, as a starting point. We try to emulate as much as we can, but we can also add our own taste, if you will. Now, the cool thing here also, notice that I didn't bother to go through the whole details to do all of that. I just put something there, but it doesn't matter. The cool thing in our app here, the app that we're going to be building, is that I added a few animations and transitions. So at this point here, if you click on this, it hides itself, and you can see this bottom card, it blurs out. Okay, so if I click back, everything comes back and then is also visible. Right, we have that button that doesn't do anything at this point. Perhaps make it up there. There we go. It doesn't do anything here, nor do these two checks do anything. But at least it gives you an idea of what we can actually accomplish using solely SwiftUI. So there's going to be a lot of work that we're going to be doing. And I do realize that at this point we are ramping up our learning curve here. If you at any point feel a little bit overwhelmed, no problem. You don't have to watch or try to do this. You can just go back and review previous videos and wait until when you feel a little bit more comfortable to actually follow this. But I believe that you can follow this regardless of your level. Things may be a little bit awkward at first, but I think you'll be able to follow along. Okay, so let's go ahead and build this awesome app together.